Almighty. Well, here we are once again in the middle of an extreme heat wave, and truly it's only just beginning. Welcome to July, and welcome to City Predicting, and welcome once again back to WWE Media after we just got done restoring the feeling at AEW Dynamite Beach Break. We're bringing it down a notch in City Predicting NXT Heatwave. Welcome to the show. Hello, folks, and welcome once again back to WWE Media, and this is City Predicting. You know what this is. If you don't, I am the simple man of the simple brand, the voice of the JMF for great professional wrestling. Damn it. And my name is Noah Foster. With me, as always, this is my co-host in all things WWE and NXT regular wrestling, J.J. Williams, the man whose name is literally on the marquee, Jeff Meacham, and always the MVPs, the VIPs, the primary residents of the multiverse media audience. It is the Dominguez's. We have Emmanuel and Arlene. Shout out everybody that's tuning in, whether live or on demand. Please subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Walter Cruz, good to see you. And Daniel, thank you for tuning in as well. And again, folks, your opinions matter too. There will be a prediction form across the multiverse of media, my social medias after this prediction panel concludes. And if you want to dictate the conversation, don't have to dictate, super chat, simple as that, but stay on top as we predict these matches. Let's go around the horn and get everybody's initial thoughts and hype before we set you up for your pre-shenanigans on the 4th of July. Yeah, Jay, we just got done with Beach Break. Good to see you, my friend. This is your stage, this is your brand, this is your NXT. Damn it. How you feeling about NXT Heatwave this Sunday?
I'm looking forward to it. A little bit bummed that I'm not going to be able to be there to call it.
Damn it.
But, you know, priorities over passions, as we like to say here across the multiverse.
Exactly.
I still need to go back and watch last night's episode, unfortunately, because I worked then too. So I didn't even get to see the go home to see what may have transpired to help influence my decisions. But I'm looking forward to this. Let's go.
All right. I like it. Good stuff. Jeff, you become part now of City Predicting, and it's always a pleasure now having you. How you feeling about NXT Heatwave this Sunday, my friend?
It's hot outside. I don't want to.
Accurate.
Send prayers to your fat friends. It's hotter than shit. No. God, it's so hot. But yeah, Heat Wave is Sunday. We got Money in the Bank Saturday. We had Beach Break tonight. We have more Beach Break on Friday. We have whatever's going to happen with the crazy ass Bloodline Friday that we're not covering it. We're just going to watch it unfold probably more than it did because Paul Heyman get well soon. Yeah, it is another crazy time in wrestling, and we're literally 3 days into the second half of the year. And off we go. It is going to be a fun weekend, and it's the Weeks Are Gonna Die tour expands as ever. It just depends what's going to kill us first, this damn heat or this schedule.
I'm going to say the heat because humidity puts me down and out worse than anything professional wrestling can verbally throw at me because I'm not part of the business. That being said,
and as with our show earlier for the Dynamite, all super chats tonight will go to the Protect Your Fat Boys from the Heat Stroke Fund here across Multiverse Media, and make sure we get us some water and shit because it's hot. So
yeah, accurate. It's hot, it's bombing, it's booming all across here in the multiverse of media. Do it. You know you want to. This is a new thing now. But good to hear, Jeff. And again, stay cool if you can. Lord knows I'm going to try here in the Midwest because the Midwest is not about the heat. Blech, damn it. That being said, Emmanuel, good to see you. I'm sure you and Arlene will find some way to once again continue to influence your sibling rivalry. And for those that wonder about leaderboards, they'll be on my social media after the holiday. Because after this, folks, just blow shit up safely and enjoy barbecue. That being said, Emmanuel, good to see you. How are you feeling about NXT Heatwave this Sunday, my friend?
It's kind of like been an interesting hype up for NXT Heatwave, where like it's trying to be a part for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, so it'd be as equal and as important for both sides. So it's kind of be interesting how they decide things and how the layout be after Heat Wave. And I wish Heat Wave will go away from this Desert Valley, but that's never going to happen. So,
yeah, fair. And again, you guys are out there in the desert. God bless you. That being said, Arlene, it's heated outside. I'm sure sometimes it's heated between you and your brother here. But how you feel about the NXT Heat Wave? And it's good to see you.
Always. Today, my brother actually asked me, so what are your predictions? And I'm like, And I like
Oh, shit,
I
wrong
have to
one.
tell him what I'm thinking, and then I'm like, I don't really have anything to say, only because I didn't want to hear him. Like I didn't want to get into that topic.
Pigs in. What the hell? Was
Sorry, my bad.
that? Watch. Continue, Arlene.
That's okay. And I just didn't want to hear like him hear my picks, because then he'd be like, "Why are you going there?" Like, I feel like I'm gonna have some crazy picks, probably. I don't know. We'll see.
That's fair. You never want to pre-spoil what's on your mind until it comes to show time. And of course, as you know, the predictions, folks, they will be final come 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday night. Of course, we will do also our proverbial kickoff show. So I think without further ado, we got everybody's initial thoughts. So I think gentleman, lady, multiverse media, too. Let's get into it. So this is going to be a very simple show. I say that being the simple man, but I also know who I am dealing with. And again, this show is only 5, count them 5 matches. NXT Heatwave will occur this Sunday, available on the Peacock, and it will start, I believe, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with, of course, a 1-hour kickoff, I believe, at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe that's the schedule. Unless I'm wrong, I'm sure someone will confirm in the chat. And that being said, we have nothing, ironically enough, but championship matches. So the thing about this, when it comes to predicting now a joint venture in the multiverse of media, I usually leave it to the producer mains here to determine if they were booking the show, what order would they go. So that being said, JJ and or Jeff, but then again, it's your NXT. I feel like you should be justified more in controlling the booking. What should we talk about first?
Well, why don't we talk about the match that's on the countdown to Heatwave, the 6th match on the card that is not for a title.
What? Dadgummit. All right, go ahead. What is it?
Jeff, graphic? I sent it to you. You said you had everything.
We're
but
live
I sent
now.
it to you.
I had the 5 matches that were announced. I didn't see there was a 6th match, so just give me a second.
Well, you gotta love WWE when it comes to social media announcement, making a match feel so important when it's
I was
not.
I was about to ask, are we not going to talk about the pre-show match?
No, we will. All right, yeah. So go ahead and rattle off the names while I fix the graphic, JJ, please. Damn it.
Okay, well, it is JC Jane and Jasmine Nix versus Carmen Petrovich and Ariana Grace
Okay, so this is
in
pretty
tag team action.
All right. Well, again, since he hasn't watched the Go Home, but as I become more of a fan of this NXT and I actually keep up with the highlights, and shout out to Attila, by the way, who, again, this man supports all he can when it comes to its wrestling time reviewing NXT and the NXT PLEs and the Go Home. Shout out to the friend of Multiverse here, Arenas of Wrestling, Attila. Appreciate you. Let's go ahead and slowly talk about this match. As we know, Jasmine Nix is, of course, still recovering from a facial, JC James recovering from a facial injury, botch. And Jasmine Nix, of course, has kind of been her protege, his running mate, her toxic partner in crime, if you will. She just got a win last night, Tuesday, against, believe it was Carmen Petrovic, with the assist of Jessie Jane. And what's funny here is Carmen Petrovic and Ariana Grace, they're both Canadian. They're both from Toronto. And for a moment, they both thought they weren't going to be part of the show. So we got this match where these two are definitely not friends, but definitely are foes. But on a common front, in the name of country pride, we have this tag team contest. Now, the way I see it is this. Ariana Grace, Miss NXT. Her student, of course, is injured. Gigi Dolan, get well soon. Carmen Petrovic from Toronto could be a homecoming. But we know the story when it comes to people going home to their country. And Jasmine Nix and Jessie Jane right now, they're out to prove a point and make a name for themselves. And why Jessie Jane may not be fully clear to compete, why she's grotesque, if you know what I mean. Her partner, Jasmine Nix, is probably one of the most lethal Pele kicks in the game versus the black belt that Carmen Petrovic has. So this is going to be a very unique match that could honestly lead to future challenges for either the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships or, dare I say, the Women's North American Championship. Now, looking at the heel and face dynamic of who's going in with the momentum, clearly the momentum's on the side of Jessie Jane and Jasmine Nix, which is hard for me to bet against them. But again, also, do we break the hometown curse when it comes to Ariana Grace and Carmen Petrovic returning home to Toronto? There's your kickoff show graphic, folks. So that being said, JJ, this is your women's division. This is what we now deem the second most important, well-built, well-defined, possibly the biggest potential women's division on the Western front. And these 4 women are all out here to prove a name, still very inexperienced, while Jessie Jane is some of the most experienced, being a former women's tag team champion. So what's your take on this tag match and who you think needs momentum going forward, whatever they may pursue? And who gets the win Sunday at Heatwave in Toronto?
I definitely see the bad girls picking up the victory here. JC Jane, Jasmine Nix. The only way I could see Ariana Grace's team winning is if Santino Marella somehow makes an appearance.
You're still holding out for that.
You know, we've been talking about it ever since the NXT TNA crossover began. We have yet to see it. We know Slammiversary is going to be in Canada. So, and there's no NXT TNA crossover announced for this show. So that's the only way I could see it happening, is if we got something impromptu. But I'm going with Team Bad Girl, Team Toxic Attraction 2.0.
All right. So Jade is home on the floor with what he calls Toxic Attraction 2.0. At least it's not as bootleg as the Bloodline. Oh, no. I said that out loud. That being said, does anyone have a disagreement before we subtly move on? Team Bad Girls for the win. Not Mean Girls. Bad Girls going once, going twice. All right. Well, it's kickoff, so I'm not surprised. The guys have it. At the end of the day, the Bad Girls get the win versus the bad guy. And again, it's one of those things where Ariana Grace, she's already a winner. She's a drama queen. So it's just going to have more drama to her character losing in her home country. And maybe it may lead to a fallout feud with her and Carmen Petrovic. Who knows? Maybe she'll try and make her new student to become the future Miss NXT while Gigi Dolan's on the shelf recovering from an ACL injury, which is going to lead to months of hiatus. Again, get well soon. All right, well, let's actually get to the main show. But before we get there, I do want to give a shout out to Emmanuel, who did post in the chat. Please acknowledge him, folks. A member of the Cast of the 18 Studios now for 14 months, and says he's ready to destroy his sister, Arlene, and predictions is a fluke. All right, you two, keep it civil here. Keep it civil, all right? Let's go ahead and get into the main show now. JJ, you got all the graphics for the main card. So if you were booking this, what would you have as the opener?
If I was booking this, I would probably have our opener be the North American Championship.
Let's go ahead and break it down. Kelani Jordan, of course, comes in defending the NXT. Oh, the regular.
The men's.
I gotta get used to the fact there are 2 of them, so apologies. So personal botch on my part. But yes.
And that's my botch for not specifying between the 2. But yeah, the men's North American title
there it is.
has been a standard show opener for quite a while in NXT. So that's why I'm going with this here.
All right. Well, since I basically laid the groundwork on the women's tag, and I like to go again, give everybody a chance to give their opening dissertation and try and sway predictions. JJ, why don't you lead this one off, because you know about these 2 in the history of the NXT North American Championship, how important it is for Wes Lee, but how dominant fucking Femi has been. So go ahead.
If I may, I would like to lead off on the tag team title match. So why don't I throw this to Arlene to discuss first and foremost?
As you wish. Arlene, your thoughts on the NXT men's, gotta get used to that, North American Championship match. Who do you have leaving with the gold? Well, this is Wes Lee's last chance.
Yeah, because the fact that they mentioned it's a last chance for Wes Lee, and the promo like leading up to, like, if you he had a good promo when like they were talking about Wes Lee and what happened to him and everything like that, and him having to give up the title and all that stuff. And the fact that this is, if he doesn't get this, that's it. I feel like they're gonna probably end up giving it to him. I don't know why. Like, I have a gut feeling that they're probably gonna end up giving it to Wes Lee, and then you have Obi Femi go for the NXT title and be like a contender for Trick Williams. But I think that's where I'm going, because I feel like whenever they say it's like the last chance, I mean, like, if Wes Lee doesn't win this, I mean, what do you do with him like after that? I mean, I could. would he be? I don't think he would be kind of like in the contention of NXT, only because like there's so many other wrestlers, and and right now, since Trick Williams is the champion and he's a babyface versus a babyface is really not really heard of. I mean, it would be a good match, I think, but at the end of the day, I think we're so used to having a babyface and a heel go face to face rather than a babyface. So I think that's why like I don't see him in the NXT championship title anytime soon, as long as Trick is holding it. And we'll get to that, my prediction on what might happen in regards to that. But yeah, I think like if he doesn't win this, I mean, like, where does Wes Lee go from here? You know, so I think that's why they're gonna give it to him. There's something tells me that
All right.
Yeah.
So I got you. I just want to make sure. So she has opened the floor and started off saying that Wes Lee becomes the new NXT North American champion, finds his story of redemption where he had to relinquish it due to injury, and gives Femi his, for being honest here, first defeat in NXT. That's a high claim itself. So Wes Lee right now is the opening ballot. Does anyone have a disagreement before we move on? Going once, going, well, that didn't take long. JJ, please retort why you have Femi retaining.
Because I feel like Wes Lee is ready to move on to the main event picture. I feel like Wes Lee is ready to move on and challenge Trick for the title. I don't think he'll win just yet, but I feel like he's ready to move to the next level. And earlier today, I know you don't click and scroll on social medias, but earlier today on social media, the leader of the system said that he's finally ready to go toe-to-toe with Femi.
Give me the match.
And to tell Chef Shawn Michaels that he will show up when he is booked, basically. So for that reason, I think Oba has to retain here. That way, when Moose crosses the line, the title is there and it's champion versus champion again.
Oh.
I think that's part of what made Roxanne versus Jordan so great, is you didn't really know how it was going to go because both were champions. And while one is a world heavyweight champion and one is a secondary champion, I still think it just adds that much more intrigue. If Femi can conquer Moose, would he be able to then go over to TNA and get a shot at the TNA World Heavyweight Championship?
Ooh.
So I've got Femi retaining because the match we've been wanting, Moose versus Oba, is looming. I still do not trust the system, but I believe in Femi.
That's very fair, and I do wonder if that match could happen before or after Slammiversary, knowing that Slammiversary, Moose is defending the TNA World Championship in a 6-way elimination match. But that being said, as Walter agrees with JJ, I agree with you too, brother. I think Femi right now is on too much of a hot roll, even with that potential of the NXT and a crossover. I think Wes Lee can have a different, run with some rascals, and could carry himself in a different capacity towards pursuing other gold somewhere else or other gold in NXT. So simply put, I think Femi does retain. Won't be easy because I don't know how you stop a cardiac kid's heart, but I think Femi is going to find some way with his monstrous strength. That being said, since we got split, let's go over the horn and get the rest of the panel. Jeff, your thoughts on this match?
Simply put, what have I called Femi as far as a descriptive phrase since he emerged in NXT?
Bad motherfucker.
It's going to take a bad motherfucker to take him down. That's not Wes Lee.
You've also called him NXT's version of Moose. So
Exactly. Right, exactly. So, yeah, they are the Spider-Man meme, by God, down to the entrance music stylings.
I hate that.
Yeah, you hate it because now you can't unhear it and see it every time one of them comes out to the damn ring. Just throwing it out there. Wes Lee may be a rascal at heart, but he's not a bad motherfucker. That's why Femi retains. And like I said on social media when they were kind of teasing, or Frankie Kazarian was, about him and AJ going one more time, it's like, take my goddamn money. Give me Oba and Moose.
Anywhere. Just anywhere.
Anywhere.
Just book it. Just book it. Damn it. Book it.
Yeah.
All right. Emmanuel, go ahead and close this thing out. It's 3 for Oba Femi, or is the world going to implode before fireworks explode? Do you agree with your sister, Arlene?
No, she's the woman. Sadly, yeah. I had Oba Femi winning. I mean, yes, yes. I kind of agree with Arlene, in some points, but Wesley could be a challenger for the NXT Championship because it's a fair 4-way match that she forgets, and we need babyface contenders to face the NXT champion in the future. So that's something for Wesley to do because he's there. He's no longer a mid Carter, in my point of view. He's a main eventer, not a main eventer for NXT. And I feel like he should have been called up, but injury, prolonged his run in NXT. But that's a different story, But for me, Oba needs to be featured more on TV, maybe more matches on NXT shows more, because it feels like he hasn't wrestled in a hot while, since the last pay-per-view. I don't recall.
You're right, actually.
So for me, he needs to be featured on NXT TV more. If not, just find somebody to dethrone them by now, because the more time, maybe they going for the Roman Reigns title, he's that bad motherfucker that as he is, that there's no contenders that can TV taping. So
all right. Well, I think that's fair. Before we move on, Arlene, you had one last spot.
Oh, I was just gonna say that
did everybody convince you to change your pick?
No.
Okay. She's going out on her Silver Stallion.
No, the reason why I was just gonna say that it's kind of like the Rock and Roman thing all over again. It's like, does Moose and Oba Femi have to be for the title? Why can't it just be a regular match? It would still be like a great match between the two. It's like, if they do go for title to title, I mean, look what happened with Roxanne and Jordan Grace. They both had the title, but then it wasn't title for title. If they have this match, I don't see them going title for title. So if they do have the match, we know, and if it's going to be an NXT, we know that Obi Femi's going to win over Moose. We just know it.
Not necessarily, because sometimes I like to think that TNA and WWE are out there to strengthen each other, not destroy one another. But again, different conversation another day. And go check out Fantasy Booking the Forbidden Door with the Dash and Always on Wrestling for more on that, when one card was strictly focused on that versus one that was more focused industry-wide. Great stuff by both the Dads on Not Always on Wrestling. That being said,
yeah, no, right. Yeah, but I was just thinking that because I think the match they should have done it with is with Jordan Grace. I mean, they had that opportunity to have, and so that's why I don't see that if they do that match, it's not going to be title for title. They had that chance with Roxanne and Jordan Grace. They didn't take it. I don't see them taking it with this one. That's why I don't think it's going to be title for title. If they're going to have this match, might as well not have it for title, for the title. Just have them have a regular match. Because in the end of the day, if no one's going to lose the title, I mean, I don't see the point.
Not that the match is not going to be great on its own. It just, to me, it's you have the opportunity to have a person with another title from another network, say, hey, and you do more crossovers that way. And I feel like they're not going to do that. They should have had that opportunity when they had Jordan Grace and Roxanne. And yeah, I think it would have been that was the more selling one, I feel like, at least. Because of how strong Jordan Grace is. Man, she's really impressive. As you're simply analyzing the NXT potential of interpromotional title turmoil, let's keep going forward and simply predicting before we turn this to a whole nother showcase. But I do see, JJ, you got your hand up. What's up?
I just wanted to quickly show the graphic there.
Oh, good Lord. Well, I will say this.
That way anybody that hadn't seen it yet can see it real quick.
Yeah, I will say this. I do trust in TNA's world champion being the more dominant force of the two, considering what he's put in since his TNA world title run. The noble Femi, who's still very young in the business. So just saying. But again, conversation for another day. And I do look forward to calling that match.
Wait, put it back up for a second. Put the graphic back up for a second, Jay.
Oh, I
Right.
just deleted it out. Hold on.
Sean's face looked like it's someone help me.
I'll give you what you want.
Eat me.
Don't worry.
Please help me.
To be fair, that's probably height accurate.
It's probably Sean's going, does somebody book this so these guys don't eat me for dinner? He's got that smile like, blink twice if you're in danger, Sean.
I think Shawn already knows what he's gotten himself into. That being said,
He had that Psycho Sid and Psycho Sid Vicious and and Diesel flashback ladies.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you're the shortest person in the room. But anyway, JJ, what's next?
Why don't we go from one North American title to the other?
Well, since we already botched them, why not? Back to back. Let's go ahead and talk about the NXT Women's North American Championship as the inaugural crown. Kelani Jordan, with already one defense underneath her reign, takes on the ever so popular Ruca. Of course, Ruca earned this opportunity with a number one contenders match. And proverbially, this literally is what you think couldn't work, Arlene. Babyface to babyface. As Mrs. him, for those that know, Kelani Jordan was able to ascend the ladder. And once again, with Kelani, anything is possible, so she says, as she's already got, again, one defense against Meacham. Not much more to be said here. Mutual respect with these two of the highest scorers from the Combine, by the way. And so Ruca, who's been tumbling her way throughout NXT since coming back from injury, definitely has been a centerpiece in this women's division. That being said, we started with Arlene, who gave her thoughts on the previous match. I know what thoughts he wants to go off, so might as well go from one Dominguez to the other. Emmanuel, who you got winning the NXT Women's North American Championship? Kelani Jordan or Ruca? Does Kelani Jordan maybe give face here? Not as bad as MJF, but maybe she has to resort to more desperate tactics to hold on to the title, despite the fact she's facing somebody that I think she mutually respects.
Kelani Jordan's going to retain, and I feel like Ruca might turn heel after this match. Like, to be honest, like they both are awesome wrestlers. It's going to be like height their wheel. It's going to be probably most memorable women's championship, most athletic women's championship in the longest time, because they're both like Ruca with the Soul Snatcher. It's gonna be like if Kelani Jordan kicks out of that, the first person to do that then they have a lot of promise and a lot of future, and for Kelani. Yeah. So for me, she just got the title. There's no reason for her to lose it right away, unless they see a 360 going. Nah, it was a wrong decision, and WWE is not prone to that kind of like indecisiveness. So Kelani for the win.
Well, not as much anymore under Triple H, Paul Triple H Levesque. But that being said, you do bring up an interesting point before I see if the floor actually disagrees with regarding Kelani Jordan with the win. The Soul Snatcher right now is one of the most protected moves in WWE. Nobody's kicked out of it. So I do wonder if that could be the breaking point for either of these women in this match. I like that a lot. But that being said, he picked Kelani Jordan to retain as the Rage of Wrestling. Go follow my social media, folks. Walter Cruz, our UFC Bloodsport correspondent, again, Multiverse Media. He also believes that she's not going to lose it because, again, she just got it literally battleground. So Kelani Jordan is the prediction. Anyone have a disagreement before we move on? Going once, going twice. All right, yeah, I mean, I think this one's kind of cut and dry. It's one of those things where if you're going to establish a new championship, what do we say about the World Heavyweight Championship despite its look? You have to have that level of identity towards the prestige of this championship. Doesn't have to be long, but it definitely can't be a month. Before we move on, yes, JJ.
I just wanted to counterpoint his comment about Ruca turning heel.
Oh,
I don't think the NXT locker room can afford any more heel turns right now with their women. they've got way too many heel women on their roster. They need more baby faces, and especially with just getting Wendy Chu back and her being this dark heel version of herself,
I love it.
they can't afford Sol Ruca turning heel just yet.
Yeah.
Maybe around Stand and Deliver, but not yet.
I feel Stand Deliver is where we see the ecosystem change more than anything. And to your point, where we keep offsetting the idea of what's a baby face, what's a heel, your NXT Women's Division is predominantly more heel. So I definitely get that. But also, just to give you a little bit of a spoiler into NXT, folks, in case y'all didn't watch it, Dana Paxley and Wendy Chu might be a tag team or a new friendship duo. So be prepared for that nightmare. Just saying. All right. So Kelani Jordan all around. All right. Well, that's 3 matches in. We're halfway through this. And again, everyone's enjoying what they're hearing so far. And again, everyone did the conversation, join to dictate. Super chat, simple as that. Kazane Studios, Jimmy Motors Media, Red Cherry Brand, etc. Let's go ahead and move on into our next match, JJ. What do you got next on the ballot?
Next, we're going to break things up with the tag titles.
I gotta hold the core. Let's talk about this match as it is. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the NXT Tag Team Championship. So be it. David Frazer and Axiom defend the gold against the number 1 contenders, Chase U, represented by Andre Chase and Duke Hudson. I'm sure that Rich Holland, Thea Hale, who's been the motivational speaker as of late, the Renewed Spirit squad for Chase U, and the boyfriend Riley Osborne. Anyway, NXT Tag Team Championships. As we know, Axiom and Nathan Frazer. So damn glad the graphics up. Axiom and Nathan Frazer, of course, retain these titles so far against the Wolf Dogs and the Tony D'Angelo family, as well as the freaking what were they called? OC and Offers of Pain. They've been very, respected and honestly honorable tag team champions, NXT originals, of course, of this roster. And so far, it's one of those things where Chase U, they have been at the summit before. With all the ups and downs and the movie filibuster here who's going to lead things off. Might turn it into a Rudy story. JJ, gee, I wonder why you wanted to disorientate this match. Go ahead and talk about what you think is going to happen with the tag team championships at NXT Heatwave this Sunday. Do you have Chase U regaining them, or does Axiom and Nathan Frazer stop them dead in their tracks?
Well, for the last few weeks, Axiom and Nathan Frazer have been having a little bit of dissension between the two. Nathan Frazer seems to want to fly the coop, go back to doing single stuff. This was evident with his desire to challenge Tony D'Angelo for the Heritage Cup, while Axiom kind of wanted to stay par for the course, wanted to keep the tag team thing together. I think this is going to be where the shoe falls. Axiom and Nathan Frazer are going to have miscommunication. If anybody is turning heel, I think Nathan Frazer is going to turn heel, saying that he's been carrying Axiom this entire time. Your winners and new NXT Tag Team Champions, Chase U. Put them up, everybody.
So the Renegade of Wrestling has opened the ballot of discussion for this match. Freaking Chase University has the new NXT
And
Tag
considering that the other two on the other side of you threw their U's up, that tells me that only Arlene wants to dispute this. So speak, Arlene, because you have been the second biggest Chase U hater next to this man since day one-ish. As you see her freaking try not to double over laughing, she's been wanting my Thea to turn heel. She wanted my Thea to join JC. All along, she has been met with a brick wall that it just has not happened. Arlene, speak, girl.
First off,
I say,
Arlene,
yo,
Sorry, I know I
Arlene,
just
speak
took
on
the
this.
hosting duties away from you for a moment.
You know what? It's just you. I don't need to be a part of this institution. I'm fine looking on from the outside.
You will be. You will be. The money's coming in, bro.
Never. Anyway, go ahead.
Me and Jeff need to do the totals, but I think we're under $100 away from you joining.
I think we are too,
bro.
I'm still going to drop out literally day one, but you'll get your moment in the sun for less than 15 seconds. Go ahead, Arlene. Talk about this match.
Oh, no. Full of a Mug Night episode.
I'm sorry. I think I muted because I was laughing so hard.
Yes.
My neck hurts from stress. Go ahead, Arlene.
Poor Noah. Why are you trying to get him into a university where they're breaking out apart at the seams? I'm with you, Noah.
Wait, they're more united than ever. What are you talking about? They're doing great.
No. Okay.
Ever since Via Hell re-endorsed what Chase U was about with that little gift you love to put up in case it gets too kind of for this man to handle open mic night shenanigans, you can find 11 p.m. Standard Time weekly on your Saturday night post the Motor Media. Hello, Arlene, they're right. As much as I hate
Pizza
agree.
Well,
that too. I hate to agree with anything related to that.
Say it.
No. But in context of storytelling, because that's what wrestling is at the end of the day, I saw the Heritage Cup and David Frazer might deliver some hard facts. But, devil's advocate, we thought we were going to get a change at a different PLE for the Tag Titles. It didn't happen until afterwards. Now, I'm kind of holding out for that just for the point. But go ahead, Arlene, and speak.
I was going to say, as much as everybody's saying, and I do feel like they might end up giving it to Chase U. I just feel like there's a reason why Ridge Holland's not there. Like they say that they don't want him there in Toronto, but I feel like he's gonna be there, and I feel like he's gonna cost them.
See,
I feel like trying to help Chase U, I feel like he's gonna end up costing him, and cause more tension with him and Chase U.
See, I think him coming back will unite them further. He'll find a way to bring them back together.
Riley's hell bent on not letting him in. That's why between if it's not him, it's gonna be Riley being the one to be getting himself away from Chase U. One of them has to go because they clearly do not like each other.
Apparently so, yes.
So who do you want out of Chase U more? Riley? Who I think honestly doesn't need Chase U anymore. Let's be honest. I think he's at that point where he can be by himself. He doesn't need Chase U anymore. So I can see him probably being the one he let go and being on his own. But between the two, I mean, honestly, if you think about it, Ridge is trying to go into it, and Riley's not having it. So how do you go about the storyline? Because one of them obviously can't stand the other person to be in the group. I don't see them ever harmonizing. They're always going to find an excuse for Ridge Holland to be no, we can't trust him. And this is more of a reason. Let's say he wants to help Chase U and inadvertently helps Adam or Nathan Frazer and and his team win. Axiom. Thank you.
The bootleg Power Ranger.
Yeah. So to me, I feel them saying that he's not going to be there, I feel some way he's going to find himself there and then inadvertently cost him the championship. I feel there's a better tag team than Chase U, no offense, JJ, that could be NXT tag team champions and cause that rift. I know they're building up that rift between those two, but I don't feel it's going to be here in Heatwave. I feel it's going to be another tag team, and at a certain point, I think the heel turn's going to turn when Nathan was going to try to challenge for the North American title or something like that. Then it's going to be hey, why can't you just be satisfied at being mediocre instead of trying to be at the top? Then that's when the turn happens. But I feel there's a better team than Chase U. No offense, but yeah.
All right, so she's going with retainment and Chase U's implosion, and hell, Via Hell might choose between Riley Osborne and freaking Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland might become the bully that breaks her boyfriend. If they go with the freaking Teen Nick love story drama, love in wrestling should not exist in storylines 90% of the time. Anyway, JJ, I saw your
I was going
hand.
to say even Steph Delander and PCO.
Yeah, come on. That's beautiful stuff.
I was going to say Noah confided in me that he was actually enjoying that angle.
No, I wasn't. I was enjoying something far better than that on TNA, and it didn't involve those two or Flop Dollar. Just saying.
There are some beautiful love stories right now going on in wrestling. You've got PCO and Steph Delander. You've got Max's ring and Daniel Garcia's face. It's a beautiful thing, man. You got to embrace the love. No, embrace the love.
But anyways, let me talk to you here.
Go ahead, JJ.
Keep in mind, much like the extended version of that clip that I like to run on open mic night, which, you know, I may have to throw on here really quickly after my diatribe, my dissertation. Nobody really believed in Duke Hudson in the beginning either.
No.
Everybody thought that Duke Hudson was going to be the one to bring down Chase U.
Yes.
And look at him now, almost 2 years later.
We called it at freaking kickoff.
Same thing could be said about Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland could be the next Duke, where everybody thinks he's there to bring them down, but really he needs them to pull himself up from the nosedive his career is on. And the second point I want to make, and this may shock people, as much as I love me some Chase U, with the exception of Thea Hale, none of them are long-term champions. That's why they didn't hold the tag titles that long the last time.
A cup of coffee.
Just a couple weeks. They are transitional champions. They are a means to an end so that Axiom and Nathan Frazer can have their breakup. And then whenever the better tag team that you see comes along, Arlene, they can take the titles right off of Chase U.
Oh, I could think of so
But
many
you're not going to hold
right
off this breakup. They're not going to hold off this breakup for too much longer. The seeds have been well planted to the point that I think Nathan Frazer is going to clock Axiom so hard he's going to turn back into A-Kid.
I wouldn't mind that personally. I wouldn't mind seeing that feud.
Because under this Triple H regime, you've noticed a lot of people going back to their old names, with the exception of Gunther going back to Walter. So many people have gone back to their old gimmicks.
I'll give you that.
So, those are my 2 points that I wanted to make.
Yeah, again, it's very fair analysis, but it sounds like enough else. There's direction for Chase U waiting, whether or not it holds tag team gold. But it looks like it's Jeff, JJ, and Emmanuel, and Ronan, Chase U, me and Arlene, still outcasts for life, as we went with Axiom and Frazer. I just think, again, they're just going to do the same thing they did at Stand Deliver. Wait on an angle or a title change after the freaking fact. It still pisses me off they didn't pull the trigger at Stand Deliver. Why? Never got a real answer. Never got the real logic. Just throwaway moment. Seriously.
All I know is I'm glad Daniel got the reference I made when I said Peter Pan when you were saying you hate. Much love. Much love to the chat room for that. That was good stuff.
Yeah, again, much love to everybody in the chat room. Again, thank you, Matt and Daniel and Walter. All right. Well, that being said, that's 4 matches down, 2 more to go. And I knew this was definitely going to be the most polarizing conversation. What's up, man?
Just have to say real quick, I'm invested more with the Stephanie and PCO love story than Thea Hale and Riley storyline, in my personal opinion. And Chase U needs to go heel. The baby face run is done. I mean, like what else do you do with them? Like their act is kind of stale as a baby face. It'll be a nice twist, making Thea choose. And this is the way you have Riley separate from Chase U and get Arlene to see the dark side of Thea Hale.
We have to wait until we get the money raised to get Noah enrolled. What? Shawn's already aware this is happening. We're in communication. They're going to wait till we get that money raised.
Like I
They can
said,
break up the day after, like whatever. I don't care.
You get your 15 seconds, and then I'm never enrolling in that institution again. But anyway, let's
whole,
move on.
a whole open mic night. I'm telling you, a whole 4-hour episode of Open Mic Night. It's going to be a thing.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
And just remember, once the Hale becomes champion, you are getting yourself a Chase U shirt that you're going to have to wear.
Clarify, what type of champion are we looking for? NXT or North American Championship? Because that's
now there's 2 titles, so I might be double.
No, it was for the world champion.
Yeah,
the
about that for the world. Caveat for the world.
But to be fair, the agreement was made prior to the knowledge of the existence of that the other championship.
Hey, I didn't sign nothing, all right? So I just said what I said, all right? It's a verbal agreement. Bottom line, women's champion. That being said, we got 2 matches left. What's next in the bout? What do you believe should be the main event versus the semi-main, JJ?
Well, the semi-main is going to be the NXT Women's Championship.
Let's be honest here. If it wasn't Julia from Marigold, this is one of those situations where it's like, I don't know what to put up against Roxanne Perez at this point. So here we go. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about the Prodigy, one of the most predominant, most prolific, most fighting, definitely most invested women's champions in the business. Roxanne Perez defends the NXT Women's Championship against Lola Vice, who is trying to pull the proverbial babyface role in the name of her mother. Kayfabe or not, story-wise, working your acting. Okay, so basically what this stems from is the fact that Lola Vice did get the win in NXT Underground against Shayna Baszler. Sorry, Big G. And also, Roxanne Perez was able to overcome the Juggernaut, Jordan Grace. No one in that damn locker room is going to take the title from her, and it seems that nobody in any locker room can take the damn title from her. She's been on stumble since being Lyra Valkyria for the title at NXT Stand Deliver in her second run, embracing this full heel turn, which I think she needed for the long haul. Now, if you believe rumors and this whole prohibited portal, the original plan was supposed to be Julia of Stardom, who was previously holding the World of Stardom Championship, but was not fully medically cleared at the time. I don't think she's still cleared at this point. That being said, we have Lola Vice, who knocked her the fuck out with one of the most ridiculous spinning back fists I've ever seen in my life. Looking to be the biggest and the best crossover from MMA to WWE and the first Cuban-American-born champion. But does that happen at Heatwave, where you're going to get more Latino heat from this match than you are going to get from anything else this entire weekend? That being said, Emmanuel, you're on the docket for this one. Do you have a new NXT Women's Champion?
No, I don't. I mean, for some reason, this storyline's not hitting me. It's not connecting with me in some levels, sadly. Because, like, Roxanne vs. Lola, I should be excited for, but it's kind of like a heel versus heel. And last week, this Tuesday, you know, like, I'm not going to say that much to it, but an emotional plead. And it's kind of a little bit too late for me, for Lola to per se, and change my mind to cheer her. I mean, Roxanne, like she's great. I mean, like, but like it's like who can stop her? Like, I guess they gotta wait for Julia, you know, until she's medically cleared, you know, to take the title off her, because
maybe
that's the only option. I mean, like, what other options do we have? Ava? That's the only. No, it's true. Like, there's a storyline between Ava versus Roxanne. There's the hatred between those two. It's when is Roxanne's gonna say, you know, like, I defeated everybody, like, and you're the only one who's, you know, making me face all these, you know, worthless challengers, and like maybe it's her, like, to dethrone Roxanne for all we know. It's like that. It's like what, like, I don't know how fast of a healer Julie is, and how long she's gonna be out, but it's like one of those things, like, you need to do something with the main event picture for the NXT and be credible for the baby side, because if babyface Lola Vice crying and
crocodile tears,
which is felt forced and fake to begin with, this I'll have the Prodigy retain, sadly.
Yeah, look, I don't want to write this off because you know how much I respect Roxanne Perez in the NXT Women's Championship, but yeah, this is like, okay, we didn't build anything. This is filler. It's one of those things, though, where I do hold out, though, for the longer story in reverse roles, which I didn't think was possible, of you guys remember her frenemy, right? Who stood on the injury reserve shelf? I think Cora Jade is the one that could upset the Prodigy. It's just a matter of when and where. And if Trick Williams and Carmella Hayes can stand and deliver, why can't those two on NXT's grandest stage in front of this man possibly live next year in Vegas? So that being said, I'm just adding on and holding out and agreeing with you, as I'm sure the rest of the panelists too. And if they want to put in their 2 cents towards maybe who else in the NXT women's locker room can actually challenge Roxanne in the meantime and build maybe a story out of it, then I welcome the creative minds of the Dazzle Always on Wrestling to try their hand at this too. But yeah, I got Roxanne retaining as well, and I'm pretty sure it's unanimous amongst the panel and the chat. That being said, I don't think a prediction is going to change. Does anyone else have anything to add regarding the NXT Women's Division, the state of the title? I see JJ, I see Arlene. So JJ, you're first, and then we'll let the lady, of course, close things out as it's only fitting. JJ, what
Ladies
you got?
first. I think she had her hand up first.
I didn't. Again,
Ladies first. I think she had her hand up first.
Okay, I couldn't tell because of the light of the shadow. Thank you for that. Go ahead, Arlene.
No, I was just gonna add to like what my brother was saying because I do think Roxana is gonna retain.
I think everyone is.
Yeah. But like just adding on to that, like I agree like with my brother, like the segment itself, like I think I know like a lot of the divas are not that great in the mic, but I feel like when it comes to heel Roxanne, I think she needs to be quicker on her rebuttals when it comes to like how to respond to certain things. And we were talking about that before we went on air. But like one thing I think she should have done was like when Lola Vice was, I mean, although it was a touching story, I know it's like excuse my language, like a bitchy thing to say, but like I think that would have been that opportunity for Roxanne to say, boo hoo, like so what? Like we all have a story of how we got here and how we all had to struggle, but like and say that instead of just her saying, oh well, I didn't know that. It's like he wouldn't really say that, so that kind of bugged me with that promo with her and Roxanne.
Yeah, it's still a developmental blend, and Roxanne Perez, no doubt, still has anxiety. You can see it sometimes with the way.
So I think that's something she needs to kind of work on, especially if she's going to go with this heel persona. But like I was saying before we went on air, is just like this match I feel like is going to go first before the North American title just because of the promo itself. I'm not really invested, and honestly, I don't believe Lola Vice is a champion. I'm sorry. Like even her promo skills needs a lot of work too. And it's just like, I just don't believe her as a champion. So I feel like you said, it's like a filler match. And if she does win, I don't think she's going to hold the title for that long anyways. And like, I do agree with you. Cora Jade, that's the first person I thought of, like, who's next then? And I think maybe Cora Jade being the one to dethrone her. And then, but if you continue with, if it's not Cora Jade and you continue the storyline to Gilia, like who else do you have? Like, do you start, like after that? So it's like, to me, it's like this match could have been so much better than what it is, like what they gave us as promo. So I just feel like this match, if it's gonna go last, it has to deliver, because honestly, after that one, I'm like, I feel like the North American title should, like, and the title that just brought up should go second to last in this one. But that's just my opinion.
JJ, do you echo that sentiment of sorts? And you look at your women's division again. It is developmental. I mean, I do think more NXT TNA crossover will probably make this title run more enticing versus the homegrown at this point that kind of are all going, figuring their own way out. I mean, you saw the summit when Roxanne Perez was talking about the state of women's division. Who confronted her? The TikTok rejects, Jada Parker, who might be a good candidate. Again, she's heel, and she just beat Mitchum in one hell of a street fight. Give credit's due. And at this point, the only other one was Lola Vice, and we saw what happened in that tag match. And Jessie Jane, Jasmine Nix, maybe that tag match, maybe Jasmine Nix. But again, you still run the whole thing about heel versus heel. And again, opposites attract. You are repelling here at this point. It's almost like a damn you do, damn you don't, two-face, can you be trusted type situation right now in your NXT Women's division, where it's more attitude than discretion between babyface and heel. So go ahead. What's your take on this?
My take on this is that we are not unanimous.
What?
I've got Lola Vice becoming the new champion
What?
because Cora Jade costs Roxanne Perez.
Eh.
As a man who scrolls on social media, as a man who follows Cora Jade, she's been in the crowd recently watching NXT, posting pictures on her social from the fan perspective. She was out boogie boarding the other day. She's obviously doing well enough that she can get out there and move and do athletic things.
That's good to know.
Even if she's not at 100% yet, if she's at, let's say, 90, she can still be doing a verbal program to build until that other 10 gets her cleared.
Hmm.
And let's be real, Roxanne versus Cora doesn't need the title. It's a blood feud.
Fair, but one, Roxanne,
Lola Vice is the future right now. New champ.
I'm just going to say this. This is not CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Roxanne did not injure Cora Jade. Last time these two feuded, the roles were opposite. Does Cora now accept the fact that the people embrace her and Roxanne don't give a damn? Can they just shoot that fast and then John Graham Tommaso Ciampa? I don't know. But I do think because Cora hasn't won it yet, it'd be very prolific if she won it off her frenemy, former / best friend, former / tag team partner, etc. Long-term storytelling. This is one where I do think the title is a great culminating moment for Cora Jade. And the best person to take off of would absolutely be the prodigy of NXT, Roxanne Perez, who's been a closest friend / enemy in her rise and fall. So that's just my take. I think your two are good, premier women are going to stand delivered for the title, and I think Cora Jade wins it there. But I don't think Cora Jade CM Punk's Roxanne Perez at Heatwave, whether or not she's near 100% physically capable or not. Go ahead, Jeff, before we move on to the main event.
I agree with JJ. I think this beef between Roxanne and Cora has moved beyond the championship. It has superseded it. It has gone Roxana. It has gone Roman Rock. It has gone above and beyond the need to be champion. It's the need to prove who is better, championship or not. And every time Cora's been at the threshold of returning, she's had a setback, and Roxanne, in Cora's absence, has been allowed to be elevated further and further. Much like when Stone Cold Steve Austin was taken out, Triple H and The Rock were able to elevate even further than they probably already would have. We're being honest. If you're watching 98, that would have happened. 99. But I think Cora will be directly involved in this and cost Roxanne the championship.
Damn, well, that's definitely how you get newsworthy from a show called Heatwave, where the heat will definitely be at an all-time high when it comes to
I'm saying.
boiling temperature. By the way, so glad to have you back in predictions, just because, even as a fun analyst outside the league. That being said, before we move on, oh, good grief, Walter, get over yourself, bruv. You're married. Emmanuel, what's up? What do you guys say in conclusion of this? I'm surprised everybody had some more to say regarding this. I'm definitely surprised that I had to cross out, because I was like, okay, we're just gonna pick Roxanne Perez.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm still saying Roxanne though. So it's 2-2 technically based on what I've heard. So how fitting, Emmanuel. Break the tie. Do you go with the prodigy or do you go with Mamacita?
I actually went. I went for Roxanne. Anyways.
Oh, that's right. But anyway, what you had to add? That's what happens when you get implications.
Yeah, but there's a counterpoint, Jeff. Rock versus Triple H. DX versus the Nation. Rock versus the Stone Cold. They're all blood feuds bobbing the titles.
Well, some have and some haven't. Some of the great rivalries have been booked with a title. Some haven't, and some bridging portions of the greatest rivalries have had a title in play at a point, not necessarily at the end. So I get what both these gentlemen are saying, but I just think with these two, it makes more sense than Gargano and Ciampa for these two to have the championship, because you think about the daughters of CM Punk. How fitting that CM Punk would be the guy to try and rile this up on a freaking prime target, where AJ Lee has endorsed these two as their own. Just saying. Just feels like more poetic to me. And Roxanne losing the title 1 year later, the stage she got it, just seems more poetic to me. But I will say this. You definitely made me care more about the outcome of this championship. So good on y'all.
Yes.
All right. Well, again, that being said, I hope everyone's enjoyed the conversation. I know Walter Cruz, you and I are going to have quite a fun call on this. And he's color, so I expect him to be somewhat unbiased. And I will just maintain the integrity as I do, unless I get super pissed off like I did at the end of Dynamite, and rightfully so. With that being said, everyone's enjoyed the conversation. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. We're not going there, Jeff. Different stage. We're not going there. I hope everyone's enjoyed the conversation. Again, if you enjoyed this, know that we do this for all the biggest shows, PLEs, pay-per-views across all wrestling, WWE, NXT, Ring of Honor, TNA, NJPW at times, and AEW. But that being said, a lot of fun, a lot of chat, a lot of dissertations. Let's go ahead and dive right into our main event, and how fitting, where honestly it has the most unpredictable circumstance. At least I don't gotta worry about that freaking song and phrase at this moment. But let's go ahead and see what happens when you wonder what the phrase "whoop that trick" truly means. Fatal four-way for the NXT Championship. It is the champion Trick Williams taking on All Ego Evan Page, taking on Shawn Spears, taking on Bouncy. What a weird catchphrase. Javon Evans, apologies if I screw up that name. So it goes like this. Battleground, Ethan Page came in, had his first match, had it for the title. Should not have been the main event. I still stand by that. And he lost. Shawn Spears, calling himself Mr. Self-Righteous, literally pinned the man in one of the biggest what the fuck moments this year for me in the wrestling business. Shawn Spears pinned Trick Williams. I did not see that in my Magic 8 Ball, JJ. I don't know about you, who literally watched that match verbatim. I'm just saying. And then, again, the newest kid on the scene, he's young boy. He bouncy. You thought he won the number one contendership in the Battle Royale. Ethan Page was trying to fight it, but again, he did. So he's got this match, but Ethan Page beat him. And so we're back here with All Ego. It's a balance, though. It's two heels, two faces. And again, if you watched NXT, good. If you didn't, sorry, gotta keep you up to date. There was a contract signed with all four of these men. Eric Riff's favorite segments in professional wrestling. Damn it. You know, Jeff. You know what he does with those. You know exactly what he does with those. And all four men, they basically spoke about what it meant when it came to the championship, but also the percentage of Trick Williams leaving with it. And I'm just going to put it to you like this before I give it to the man whose brand this is to lead his dissertation and pick, and hand it off to his brother, and we'll go around the horn because it is the main event. JJ, the baby faces were staying tall in the end as Shawn Spears and All Ego Page were planted through tables, and Javon Woods and Trick Williams were standing face to face with the championship. So that being said, fatal four-way, champion does not be involved in the decision. You've enjoyed the whoop that era. Doesn't continue, or it's fatal four-way, how we abruptly ended. In Toronto, considering two men are Canadian. Who leads the NXT Championship, JJ?
Sorry, this thing's having issues. I apologize. So I was trying to get it loaded here because it's not working here very well, but we'll give it a go.
What's going on?
Okay.
Everyone good?
We good? Man?
Okay.
So.
We're good? Because I was giving it to JJ, and then I was going to give it to you, Jeff, because JJ.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, I could have. Okay, go ahead.
I think our brains are tired because we've been going since freaking 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the 4th of July is literally in less than 30 minutes. We're trying to end it before midnight to get some memes. That being said, JJ, whoop that predict. Who you got leaving with the NXT Championship?
I think Trick is going to find a way to overcome and retain.
Do tell.
You know, I mean, I think the story is Trick and the young OG, Javon Evans. I feel like Ethan Page and Shawn Spears are just kind of there. I feel like there's two buffers in this match. One of whom will be the fall guy, because I don't think Javon's going to get pinned. And then Javon's got a legitimate claim to the fact that, I was supposed to be the number one contender. I didn't get my match.
Right.
And I wasn't beaten in this match. When do I get my match?
So that being said, we talk about triple threats while you open with the floor saying Trick retains. What does it mean for Shawn Spears and All Ego Ethan Page?
I think, and this may sound crazy, but considering where they came from and the fact that they're no stranger with each other, perhaps an unlikely alliance where they become a tag team and make a run for the tag team titles.
You were talking about more tag teams possibly and a different.
Yeah, I was going to say, Arlene was talking about a better tag team. Who better to then dethrone the transitional Chase U than the chairman and the All Ego one?
Considering Ethan Page is also one half, if you follow your TNA homework, folks, of one of the longest reigning tag team champions in TNA history, the North, with Josh Alexander.
I don't know. For me, that sounds like a 10 out of 10 perfect scenario to have Shawn Spears be NXT Tag Champion with Ethan Page. But maybe I'm just, using far too many puns there.
Well, I mean, also to be fair, both these men, again, they're looking for A, spotlight, B, championship glory. All Ego Page is looking to finally step out of the shadow of Josh Alexander. And again, his all ego, he wants to rule what Trick Williams had taken from Camilo Hayes. While Shawn Spears, he's been part of different eras of NXT, never held an NXT championship of any sort. But that being said, JJ has set the floor now. Again, I always go around the horn when it comes to main events. So JJ picked Trick. So Jeff, whoop that predict. Where do you stand on this?
Well, first of all, I still say Shawn Spears owns Shawn Michaels one for the stand super kick. That's a whole other story.
I'm surprised he still hasn't gotten that receipt yet.
He just kicked Stan. Anyway.
One of my favorites of all time.
Flagrant, unnecessary violence against Stan. Anyway, yeah, I don't think it's near time for Trick to drop the championship yet. It was a hell of a journey, yes, but it was a journey to get him to that match with Melo and to that championship. You don't sell that back away in under a quarter year. Like it's only Money in the Bank weekend, and he won at WrestleMania weekend. That's way, for me as a fan, that's too short a time. Now I know I'm not sitting there booking in Orlando or Connecticut or wherever, but as a fan, I would be disappointed if Trick lost it here. Even though the percentages are more off than Steiner math on him retaining the title, it's still too soon. I think that if anything, it'll be SummerSlam weekend at the absolute earliest. Money in the Bank weekend, no. So Trick retains here for me.
Emmanuel, it's one of those things where I almost feel like, again, did they just throw all the cooks in the fire because they couldn't figure out a proper number one contender for Trick Williams? To JJ's point, is Javon Evans just, a true number one contender waiting to happen, getting a big chance, young, bright up-and-comer, more experienced than Trick Williams in his wrestling career, but still younger in NXT versus Trick, who literally grew up before JJ's eyes, become the face of the Whoop That era. And at the way is almost like another proverbial passing of the torch, because Trick right now is too hot as the babyface of NXT, pun intended. So it's just, kill two birds with one stone, eliminate two annoyances and aggravations at once, and focus on maybe building Javon Evans up to try and whoop that Trick. Go ahead and whoop that predict. Your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's a fatal forward match, and WWE history shows that most of the time the champion retains in this type of matches. Sadly, I mean, like it's kind of hard to argue with JJ and Jeff's point of view that Trick is going to retain this match, but there's logic as well how things ended in NXT as well. Like I'm not going to go to spoil because JJ didn't see it. It makes me think that one of the heels might take it in the end because it's really hard. It's really hard to predict this one because like just because how the go home ends and then how WWE been booking for the longest time. So can you give me a moment to think about it and get pass it to Arlie? Maybe she could say answer. So.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, again, we're closing out again. You guys' predictions, like cars didn't change, predictions have to change. They are not final until 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday night. Keep that in mind, folks. Again, the form, I've literally been building it on my phone while we've been talking live. Kickoff match. What a load of bullshit. Anyway, Arlene, go ahead. Your thoughts on this. Your thoughts on the NXT Championship. Whoop that trick. Or whoop that predict. Or do you think the whoop that era gets bouncy, full of ego, or led by the chairman? Go ahead.
I actually like to go back to when we talked about I forget what was NXT's last pay-per-view called?
The Battleground.
Okay. So I think I don't know if it was that one or the one previous to that one where I said that Javon Evans is going to become the next Trick Williams, and Trick Williams is going to become the next Carmelo Hayes.
You said that Battleground because Javon Evans wasn't a thing prior to Stand and Deliver. Not this hot or bouncy.
Continue. Yeah. So, and I stand by that. I feel like it's going to come to a point where, Carmelo's saying what he told him, Trick Williams a while back. Like, like he's like feeling threatened. Like he doesn't want to lose his title. He knows what this title means. And maybe he's going to start seeing that maybe Carmelo Hayes wasn't that far off. I still feel like, there's that heel kind of like with Trick Williams. Like, although like a lot of people are behind him, I kind of want to see it just because like I want to see how people are going to react. Like him becoming not only learning from his protege, kind of thing, and see what he does with that. Because I'm curious like how he would like try, like how good he would be, like what he learned from Carmelo Hayes in just that instant. And then it's like at the same time, like I feel like I always like think about like how they have the championships, who I think, and I usually always change my pick. And sometimes I'm like, dang it, I should have just kept my original pick.
Hey, ride or die with your gut. That's the way I always tell people
like,
when it comes to being fickle.
My gut, like, it's telling so, but at the same time, I'm like, I feel like we're in Toronto. They have to give it
one of two Canadians here.
Yeah. And it's like, you have to, and then we have the pre-show, which they threw in there. And I'm like, well, that's a throwaway match. But I feel like they, like, at the same time, like, now that they have two people from, like, the pre-show and then this one, I'm like, it now gets me more into thinking that maybe someone from Toronto is going to win. Because, like, thinking back to Clash of the Castle, it's like they had Opie Fire and I forget the other one.
Isla
Dawn win the championships, and then they had Drew McIntyre lose. So if we're going with the pre-show and the girls, Ariana Grace and
Carmen Petrovic.
I was going to try to say her last name. Like, I'm going to butcher this because I couldn't think of her first name.
There's the reason why I'm the guy that says all the names for the Japanese professional wrestlers.
Yeah, thank you. But I was like, so they're obviously not going to win it. I think they might be crazy enough to give it to someone from Toronto. Like, now between the two, who would I want to see from Toronto winning? And I'm like, I was thinking. I'm sorry. What was that, JJ?
Nothing. I was messing with Jeff over there.
So between those two, I'm like, Alter Ego, who just came. or Shawn Spears. I'm like, oh man, I think I want Shawn Spears to win this. But at the same time, I'm like, I mean, like, I'm wanting Trick to turn heel. So how do we get him to turn heel? I think they're gonna end up giving it to Trick Williams, and then he's gonna turn heel at the next pay-per-view. I just have a gut feeling. I just want that to happen, just because.
You just want heel characters in NXT, is what it sounds like here.
Seriously.
He's all about the heels.
He wants
I'm
all the
just like,
baby
you know what?
faces to turn bad.
No, it's just because, like,
Well, I mean, she's a fan of Randy Orton, so.
yeah,
Well, that
yeah.
explains a lot.
Yes, and I'll get into that, Money in the Bank thingy, on what I think he's gonna end up doing at the end of that matchup. But I digress. But yeah, that storyline's like on a silver platter. You have, like, you saw this Carmelo Hayes, and he brought in Trick Williams. What is Trick Williams doing with Javon Evans? Taking him under his wing, and it's like he's trying to win this championship, and instead of being like, like, okay, give me all you got. He's like, no, you're not going to get the title from me. This is mine. Like, you're not going to take this away from me. Wasn't that what Carmelo Hayes was trying to say to Trick Williams? Like, it's like there. It's there. I'm like, when he does, it's like, oh, like, I'm going to be like, oh, I like, you can't have a championship without, like, and he said so himself, I don't trust anybody. And maybe Javon Evans might, like, continue to try to help him, but it's like, nah. Like, he's gonna end up becoming so paranoid that he like without intentionally doing so, he's gonna become the next Carmelo Hayes. So I think Trick's gonna win. If I had a secondary pick, I would say Shawn Spears.
I mean, good grief. I mean, your mind was more fickle than a game of Pong at full speed. But I respect the split mindset. With, again, Fatal 4-Way. Step Boy would need to could do the statistics on Fatal 4-Way just to see how many times the championship, keyword World Championship, was retained. And again, you guys can check out Stat Boy and Dory Lou, your local bar keeps at Stat Boy Sports Bar. That being said, yeah, it's just one of those things right now where I look at Trick Williams' rise to the top. I just don't see it ending here. Again, Heatwave to me right now feels truly like the filler PLE of NXT. And let's be honest here, the last time we had Heatwave, it wasn't even this big of a deal that they're trying to make. It was literally a freaking 1 week special on a Tuesday night of NXT. Now they're trying to make it feel bigger, because last year the big show was the Great American Bash, as I was looking at our schedule from last year's Multiverse of Media. And looking ahead towards the next shows, JJ, you know as well as I do, the next show that usually followed the Great American Bash wasn't until fall, and that was No Mercy. And I do think No Mercy could be a turning point, because No Mercy was Trick Williams' first moment in your NXT, where he won the NXT North American Championship from Dum Dum Dom. And that being said, I think that something has to give for Trick Williams to the point we see him lose his composure. To Arlene's point, he hasn't yet. But I don't think it happens at Heatwave. I think this is just one of those things right now where you get a couple of Toronto runs on stage, and you try and push Javon Evans a little further because he's the freshest face on the landscape of your NXT. Yeah, I got Trick Williams retaining as well. I just don't see a title change happening, honest to God, in general, on this Heatwave. And again, like I said before, predictability in wrestling is not a bad thing. Damn it. So whether or not titles change or not, I'm not going to be disappointed, because so far this year, the PLEs for NXT, they've held up towards what I expected them to be from a takeover quality. And I expect more of the same here. That being said, Manuel, go ahead and close this thing out with your prediction. Now you heard everybody's thoughts. And basically, to sum it up, everyone's picking Trick. And that's really what you got to think about. Does Trick leave with the title, yes or no?
Just because, since I'm way behind in the picks, I got to go crazy. I got to change my...
Oh, jeez.
Yes. I'm desperate. I need the points. I need the unpredictable. I need the unexpected to happen. But all Ethan Page as the NXT World Champion.
Oh,
I think this is the wrong match to do the unexpected.
I agree. But okay. Well, brave as the bold. Emmanuel had to be the one on this one. He goes with all ego. And again,
hey, it's all good. And I admire Arlene's passion for heel turns.
Oh yeah.
I have a feeling that Trick is going to do the Braun Breaker method as opposed to the Mellow method.
Yeah.
Trick is
So-
nowhere near ready for a main roster call-up.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have this run as babyface, and then next year, post Stand and Deliver, have the big heel turn, or maybe even at Stand and Deliver, and then run a good year as a heel before finally getting called up.
With
And
Last
see
Legend,
how he can
possibly.
handle both things.
Yeah, with Last Legend possibly, and maybe this is how Last Legend earns her first title in NXT against Kelani Jordan of all people. Just saying. Emmanuel, I see your hand up, and I see Jeff thinking. But go ahead, Emmanuel.
Extra point on who's going to get pinned in this four-way match.
You just want extra points, fool.
I mean, that might be more unpredictable than the actual winner here. And since Aaron really doesn't mess with NXT, and I basically made this a thing, why the fuck not? Okay, we'll go ahead
Jesus.
and I'll go ahead and do that. It doesn't have to be talked about here. You all,
I'm not really excited to give a shit, really, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, again, you're an analyst, and I just love hearing you predict because I appreciate your mind, brother, and your fandom. That being
So
said,
what's the extra point?
so the extra point you all can think upon, this goes for
Who
the
eats the
chat.
fall?
Who eats the fall? So you can't pick the same thing for both. Nice try. If you pick a champion, you gotta pick somebody else that eats the fall. So Trick Williams pins blank, Ethan pins blank, Javon pins blank, Shawn Spears pins blank. Good luck to you all. But that being said, that's NXT Heatwave, quite literally. A very simple.
Ethan Page is so egotistical. He's going to not only win, he's going to pin himself to win. That's how big of an egotist he is. Well, that's how many you'll get these points, damn it. No, it's not.
Yes,
People can bend. People can bend. He
I don't
can be shoulders down. He can flip his legs back and literally pin himself.
I don't think he's that flexible. I don't think
he is either, but I want to see him try and watch him break. That'd be funny as shit.
This sounds worse than Santino Marella trying to do the splits.
No, that's not.
Anyway, go
I
ahead.
actually have a thought on Trick's run. So
Go ahead.
I really think he's going to end up having a Kevin Nash Diesel-like run here. And what I mean by that is while his Shawn Michaels, Carmelo Hayes, won the championship before him, in this case, Trick has the championship now. He's going to go on a good, solid run. He's going to get not upset, but surprised in defeat. And he's just going to drop the guy like a bad habit when he loses. Now, I know JJ wasn't watching in 95. I don't know if you were, Noah, so forgive me. And you two below, I don't know either. But when Diesel became champion, he had just finally had enough of Shawn Michaels.
I remember that because me and JJ covered WrestleMania
11.
13 where he defended against The Undertaker.
11. Oh, okay. Well, that was 12 where he was not champion, but that's okay. 11 was when he faced Shawn after he became champion.
Yeah.
And God bless Kevin. He had to go through a year of kissing babies and, hugging ladies and smiling and being that guy. But the minute Brett surprised him at the Survivor Series, he dropped Brett like a bad habit and said, I'm back. Then came out the next night on Raw and, basically got in Vince's face about it. I see that working for Trick. In that Trick and Mello were always, they were always enjoyable to watch, but they were very full of themselves as a pair. So I think Trick is still enough full of his own shit, but he's having to, play the game here, so to speak, that when he finally does lose after a good long run and an almost like gotcha moment, that's when he snaps and goes on that year-long run Judy talked about as a heel.
Well, every champion, I feel like, reaches that proverbial point where the pressure becomes so much to preserve what they fought so hard to keep that I feel more often than not, they do what it means to hold on to it, and it does change their outward mentality. And of course, that affects the way that in this case, NXT universe perceives them. And I could see that happening, but it's one of those things right now where it's just too young. Where your highest babyface in NXT is literally Trick Williams. So babyface Trick Williams retains at Heatwave, and I think this match is truly as simple as that.
No, I agree. The way they would lay that out would work so perfect for Trick because he's this big, lovable guy that, if you just flip his switch, he can go off on you. I also don't want it to turn out to be something where by way of Trick continuing to be successful in NXT and Carmelo just kind of for now being there. I mean, we'll see what happens Sunday with Money in the Bank or whatever, or Saturday with Money in the Bank, but I don't want Melo to be the Genetti because that's the last thing we need.
Oh God, that
Melo is so
hurts me.
talented.
That comparison hurts me every time when it comes to a potential single superstar thriving out of a tag team on both ends. And I think Trick Mello game both have a chance to be huge stars for the ongoing generation on their own.
I agree.
Well, that being said, again, folks, what's your predictions? What's your thoughts? Who's your fall guy in the Fatal 4-Way? Do you whoop that Trick? How do you whoop your predicts? Let us know in the comments if you wish to, either in the chat or down below. And again, the forum, it'll be made official. Fudge it. Don't even think about wrestling in the next day, in my opinion. Eat barbecue and safely blow up shit. That's my thinking right now. As we're literally just minutes away from the East Coast here, entering the 4th of July. So I think we'll wrap things up until, I believe, Friday night for AEW Rampage Beach Break. We'll bid you all fine adieu and say goodbye and good night. So before we conclude, let's go around, chill, and that way we can enjoy ourselves before the fireworks and barbecue. Everybody, been a pleasure. Good luck to you all on the predictions. Again, leaderboard will be out some point after the holiday when I reset my mindset. Arlene, always a pleasure. Good luck to you. Anything you want to plug and promote? And where can people find you?
They can find me on Facebook, Instagram.
Need to get our graphic, JJ.
I would just like to say I have not mentioned lately about Thea Hale, in my defense, going heel. I have stopped mentioning that for a while, JJ.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm not saying anyone should in Chase U has to turn heel, in my defense either. I only want certain people to turn heel. That's it.
No, she's just being proficient. She's just being proficient. Well, we love you, Arlene, for it.
Oh, and you're going down, brother. You're going down.
What is it with siblings that they always have to have a rivalry?
Because he watches more than me, so there should be
on you.
There should be no excuse on how I should be winning.
That's right.
You know what? That's fair. You know what? Wild card. Why not? I mean, the wild card won tonight on Dynamite. That being said,
he's having a rough enough summer as it is. His hockey team lost in the Stanley Cup Finals, so we got to give him a little break here.
Well,
and do you really have to bring up the wild card winning on Dynamite? Like, did I not get pissed enough during that 2 hours that you have to bring that back up?
I'm just calling history, man. I mean, it's what I do.
Aubrey Edwards is not looking out for her wrestlers.
Or do I need to bring up again how Aubrey Edwards once again screwed Jeff Jarrett? No, since you want to bring it up,
I'm gonna fight you on this shit until the day I die.
Exactly,
Emmanuel. All right, I'm gonna screw nobody, and you're gonna start a great championship network debate. The more than me butting heads with you over Tiffany Strand and Chelsea Green this Saturday on City Predicting. Stay tuned for more on that. That being said, cool down now. It's too hot here. Getting too hot. The heat's on the rise. Let's cool down here. Tranquilo. That being said, never mind. Seriously, folks. Emmanuel, always a pleasure. Don't be too tough on your sis, whether she beats you or not predictions. Go ahead and plug where people can find you.
First of all, Noah, shame on you. You found my loophole. I was going to go Ethan Page wins the championship, just in case if Melo, Trick Williams get a pin. Ethan Page. I was about to say Ethan Page eats the fall.
That's right.
Nice time.
And that way I'd be neutral. I don't lose any traction.
You can't fool me. There's a reason why I've been doing these prediction scorings for the last 5 years. Continue.
Yes, if you want to face your favorite Game 9 champion who was not invited.
Oh, here we go.
Please follow Emmanuel Dominguez at Facebook, EDM7324 at Instagram. I know you want to follow me. I'll say hello. I'm the biggest heel you will ever meet. I defeated my sister, crushing her soul. But nevertheless, I'll see you in September, October at Game Night.
Yes.
All right. Fair enough. Well, this is usually the time where I go, like I said, bad to bad. But again, these are the Dads always on wrestling, and they collab a lot of stuff. But I'm going to start with the man. This is his brand. And again, JJ, got Blood for Passions. But good luck this Sunday. Last fives are going to Heatwave. And where can people connect and find you ahead of Saturday and Friday? Possibly.
Well, you can find me on the socials, the Renegade JJ Williams on Instagram, ROWJJ Williams on Twitter.
Twix.
I just had a thought enter my brain while Emmanuel was talking, and it's a scary thought
Oh no.
because Money in the Bank is the day before Heat Wave,
Yes.
and the briefcase can be cashed in for any championship.
It's also valid.
Yes.
What are the odds that Melo wins the briefcase and cashes in on Trick?
Oh, that would be
God.
delicious. That would be delicious.
That be fucked. Ugh.
I would pop like a mucker feather.
Just something to throw out in the ether and let percolate.
That's it.
That's how you turn Carmelo. I mean, that's how you turn Trick Williams heel.
Right?
Imagine
If
he
you
gets
want
that
to turn it
pop.
that early, damn, that's how you do it.
In Bizarro World, he gets that baby face pop. We're in Canada, by the way.
I mean, it is Bizarro Land. Yeah, exactly.
JJ, you wrong for that.
All right, Jeff, I throw it over to you to plug yourself and then shill everything that you got to shill.
Go for it,
Well,
bro.
you can find the Dominguez siblings in our chat rooms during our watch along for Mike Night, super chatting the hell out of us, and basically paying for our shit because that's how we roll around here. Getting Noah ever close to enrollment in Chase U, by God.
Drop out day one. I'm telling you, I'm gonna drop out as soon as I freaking.
You have to sit through at least one episode of Mike Night. I'm telling you.
No.
I'm going to enforce that to the bitter end. However, between now and then, of course, you can catch us Friday night doing our watch along of the second part of Beach Break on AEW Rampage, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. Simply predicting right back here, Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, I should say, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, with Simply Predicting Money in the Bank. Of course, Money in the Bank itself will be right around 3 p.m. Pacific, based on the time that WWE starts their stuff nowadays. So
a few hours.
It is what it is.
What a ridiculous thing.
And then we'll be live with Open Mic Night after that, of course, each and every Saturday. Heat Wave, of course, itself will be this coming Sunday, July 7th, again, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. Also of note, I was supposed to be part of this show tomorrow, but I will be unable to attend. No DQ's predictions for Money in the Bank will be tomorrow morning at 10 p.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern.
What?
They're going to sprinkle in there. Yeah. Aaron threw a poll out there, and that was what the No DQ Galaxy decided they wanted to do, was predict on the 4th. And it was like, okay. And I volunteered to do it because I was going to be here, but now I'm not going to be here. So 10 a.m. tomorrow Pacific time, if you want to listen to predictions for Money in the Bank on No DQ, they're going to sprinkle in NXT picks. Like they're going to do like quick picks, like Greg used to do. And then they'll do Money in the Bank. But yeah, other than that, you can catch everything we do watch along wise.
God.
Along Multiverse of Media. We watch every damn thing, it feels like, at this point. So be on the lookout for all these things and so much more coming up. But yeah, the We's Gonna Die tour, whether it's the heat or the schedule, we will expire by the end of this year. It'll be a thing. We may get to Royal Rumble if we're lucky. And then we're going to Vegas in April and die in that heat. So, there is that.
On Easter weekend on 420, God have mercy on your souls.
Well, I'm a ginger, so I'm good on that part.
Oh, for love of Pete. Well, anyway, that being said, yep, the heat's on, and for now, we're going to extinguish the flame and bid you all farewell as this concludes the beginning heat wave. So until then, again, I'm Noah Foster. I'll see you Friday night when we do our watch along for Rampage, as he alluded to. Follow me if you choose on the Twitter on YouTube and Foster 916 for all things wrestling. But until then, to my East Coasters, happy 4th of July. To the West Coast, that will soon be part of the day. Good luck to your predictions. God bless you and your families. Have a wonderful, safe 4th of July. Enjoy barbecue. Blow stuff up safe and sound too. And until next time, here in the Multiverse of Media, make a positive impact in life and have a good night, folks. We'll see you next time.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
What happened?
Where's the button?